ask you to stay muted just so that we reduce the background noise during the presentation and we have a good recording. Please do feel free to put your questions in the chat. And, you can put your questions in there at any time. We will have time for questions and answers at the end. And Ashley will read those off and we'll answer them as appropriate to whether Canal Corp or Erie Canalway, what have you. So feel free to put some questions in the chat as you think of them. So we'll talk today about some of the major things going on, the Bicentennial Commission. We'll talk about major events that are underway for the Bicentennial. Kind of talk about the Bicentennial is like a season of commemorations. It's not just a one-time thing. And then we'll share some resources that you can take advantage of. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Bill and Shane to talk about the Bicentennial Commission. And then we'll go from there.
Good morning, Jean. Thank you, everyone. It's great to be with everybody today as we talk about a really special time on the horizon here for our Erie Canal and the canal system. So many folks may be aware already that during Governor Hochul's State of the State address back in January, she announced the creation of an Erie Canal Bicentennial Commission to guide us as we celebrate and commemorate this historical milestone throughout upstate New York. And really our entire state. As we know, the Erie Canal opened up the interior of New York and, as we often say, made New York City what it is and our great state what it is today with all of our canal side communities that run along the waterway between Albany and the Hudson River and Buffalo out on Lake Erie. The Bicentennial Commission has now been named. It is co-chaired by First Gentleman Bill Hochul and Canal Corporation Director Brian Stratton. The first meeting of the commission will be this Friday. So it'll be First Gentleman Bill Hochul, Director Stratton, and our partners from our sister agencies gathering in the Canal Corporation's offices in Albany to have the first conversation, the first meeting of the commission, and that initial gathering will start to help us provide a roadmap for the next year ahead of all of the celebrations and all of the events and all of the opportunities that we will have to mark this great occasion. So more to come. We were hoping to have the meeting a few weeks ago, but scheduling over a summer is what it is. It's taken us a little bit to align calendars, but we will finally have the gathering here in a couple of days, and then we'll make sure to keep everyone posted. Best to stay tuned. Obviously, social media. We'll be regularly updating our social media accounts. I'm sure Jean and Ashley and the team at Erie Canalway will be sharing updates on the commission as well through those channels. Part of our bicentennial celebration and some of the things that we are already starting to plan, in addition to whatever the commission decides and moves forward over the next couple of months and the next year here, is one of our major events sponsored by the New York Power Authority and the New York State Canal Corporation will be a bicentennial concert series. We will be partnering with New York State orchestras across the canal corridor to offer these educational and musical opportunities and community gatherings. More to come. We are speaking of planning and aligning schedules. There are a lot of logistics and a lot of details that we are still working out, but planning is going on in earnest, and we hope to have an announcement very soon about the concert series and in which canal side communities one will be able to come in and enjoy these concert series over the next year.
Oops. Thanks, Shane. Thank you. Sorry about that. I have the pleasure of telling you a little bit about the World Canals Conference. So the world is coming to Buffalo next year for the Bicentennial and for the 2025 World Canals Conference. It's taking place in September. And this is a global gathering of canal experts and enthusiasts who are going to be talking about all things canals for a couple of days. And so it's really an exciting opportunity to learn about what's happening and how challenges are being faced around the world, what kind of innovative projects are taking place, what the future of canals looks like. And if you've ever had a chance to go to a World Canals Conference, what you discover is that canals everywhere are facing some similar situations and challenging, preserving history, inviting tourism, preserving the environment, looking at sustainability of their waterways. And so the conference is just this great opportunity to meet people from around the world and share ideas. So I hope that you will put this on your calendar and come to the conference because it's just such an exceptional opportunity to see things, to hear things, to learn. We'll have both traditional conference presentations, but also field sessions where we'll go out and see things along the Erie Canal. We'll also have one of the field sessions is going to Canada along the Welland Canal. There'll be public events. We've got pre and post tours planned so you can take advantages of those things. And also I would encourage you to look for opportunities to exhibit for your organization or your business, or to consider being a sponsor of the conference. And to check those things out sooner than later, because the sooner you get on board as an exhibitor or a sponsor, the more time that we have to promote you. And we will really be ramping up our promotions in the next month. So we're getting ready to open registration. The website is already up and going at wcc2025buffalo.com. And I'm just going to share with you a 1-minute teaser video to get you excited about coming to the conference. Oh, sorry. What happened there? Back. We gotta go to the next slide. Oh, geez. Hang on. How about that? Okay, I'm going to turn things over to Bill Schweitzer here, but also just say that during the conference, this is going to be a very exciting part because the Seneca chief is going to be departing, and those who are attending the conference will go down to Canal Side to watch the boat as it launches. So over to you, Bill. Bill, are you might be muted, so give it another go.
How about now? Sound good? All right. So I babbled on about nothing for about 3 seconds there, so it's perfect. I really just wanted to say, really great to see everybody who joined today. Love the names that I recognize and the names we don't. Thanks for being here. The Voyage of the Seneca Chief. I got the best slide. For about the last 4 years, the Buffalo Maritime Center has been building the Seneca Chief. It is to recreate the DeWitt Clinton's 1825 inaugural journey. And it is going to happen on September 24th, the last day of the World Canals Conference. It will launch from Buffalo, and it will take about a month journey to the New York City harbor. It's going to stop in numerous community events for sure, about 30. And then it will actually return to Waterford, spend the winter in Waterford, Albany area, and then in 2026, it will come back through the Erie Canal back to Buffalo with different programming, but you will have a chance to see it in 2026 as well. For 2025, like I said, it's going to launch during the World Canals Conference. It'll be commemorating the 1825 trip, talking about the past, planning things for the future, exploring new stories, inclusive programming, and then whatever else you want it to do while it's in your community. The Seneca Chief folks, the crew, the Buffalo Maritime Center, and Erie Canalway, New York State Canal Corporation, and others, your tourism promotion agencies in your county are all beginning to plan each stop as it goes. This is really a rally call for you to come out and contribute to those celebrations, to those stops. This slide shows the 28 stops from Buffalo to New York. We really need you to come out and participate in the celebration, in the commemoration, and what you want those celebrations to be. So just to recap, about a month-long journey, launching on the last day of the World Canals Conference, arriving in New York City Harbor a couple days before October 25th, and then a celebration on October 25th. And that's the journey. And many, many thanks to the Buffalo Maritime Center. This is going to be a really cool bookend or capstone of the celebrations. And really, the fall, September and October of next year, after all your community celebrations and all the other things that'll be going along, this will be a really, really great trip. And, some folks have said, well, geez, I don't see my stop on there. Just remember that in 2026, it will be coming back through the canal. It won't be 2025, but it'll be, there's certainly a big date for America on that day. And I think some of the programming will be a little bit canal and a little bit on the US, but you will have another chance to see it in 2026.
Thanks, Bill. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second because I'm told that the video had no sound. And so I think I'm going to go back and show that again, just so that you can actually enjoy it, and then we can have it on the recording, and then we'll move forward. So I'm sorry about that glitch. Let me come down and make it work. Back. Okay, we're going to try it again. Bill, give me a thumbs up if you hear the sound this time, okay?
A new day is rising for canals around the world. The spirit of innovation that transformed our nation is revitalizing our waterways for tomorrow. Transforming, re-envisioning, reinventing, honoring our legacy, and taking everyone along for the ride. Just as we share challenges, so too must we share solutions. We invite you to the Cutting Edge, a global gathering of inland waterways innovators, bringing their passion, their inspiration, their best ideas, as we strive to sustain our multidimensional canals. For our communities, for our guests, for our environments, for generations to come. The Erie Canal is your backdrop, and the host city of Buffalo, New York, USA, a destination packed with beauty, history, and wonder. Join us in commemorating an extraordinary 200 years by preparing for the next 200. World Canals Conference 2025, where the future flows.
All right, much better with sound, isn't it? Thank you, Belle. Sorry about that. All right. We'll move forward and start talking about the canal and the bicentennial throughout the season. I think, Shane, this is you up next, or Ashley, maybe you're up.
That's me, Jean. Well, great. So now we're excited about World Canals Conference, and we're excited about the journey of the Seneca Chief. And those two things are happening in the fall. But as Bill had already mentioned, we have a full season that leads up to these two big events that are happening in the fall. And this is where we'd like to invite everybody to become part of the bicentennial. We're hoping to see a full calendar full of community events that lead up to these big celebrations in the fall. But we know that in order to, properly plan for having these community events, you guys need time, and you also need to know that you have secured resources for these things. And so with that, we're going to be opening the New York State Canal System Tourism, Infrastructure, Amenities, and Events Grants program in the fall this year. If you're familiar with the program, we typically open it up in January for applications, but we really wanted to give everybody more than enough time to plan all of their events and special projects for the bicentennial year. So applications for that are going to open on October 7th. So that's less than 2 months away, with an application deadline of November 15th. So we expect successful applicants to know that they've secured funding in January as well. So we're really excited to be able to offer that program a little bit earlier for everybody this year, in anticipation that we'll have more events that will take more planning in 2025. To go along with that, we are also working on some upgrades to our events calendar. So Erie Canalway plans to host and maintain an events calendar of all of the events that are happening throughout the season on our website. It's going to have a new user interface that's a little bit more friendly for the public. It'll allow the public to sort not only by event type, but also by region, so people can see upcoming events that are near them, which will be great. And the other thing that we plan to have with that calendar is a way for communities and event hosts to submit their own events directly through the website. So if you have an event that you'd like to see on the calendar, that you'd like to see the Canal Corporation and Erie Canalway both help promote, support, make sure that you submit your events through that as well. And that will be available in early 2025. So keep an eye out for that too.
Yeah, Ashley, can I jump in there? I think this is one of the most important things that will go on next year. The fact that our grant program, Erie Canalways and Canals, our joint partner program, that we're opening up the festival and event grants in the fall, just 2 months from now, so that communities and organizations can get their planning and some funds for the celebrations going for next year. It's super important. When I'm out in the field and talking about canals, I always say the canal system is the sum of its parts. There's not one organization that does this or does that. And I think this will really be part of the overall celebration, is how much the communities come out and plan, what you always plan. And the Canal Corporation and Erie Canalway will amplify it, participate, and be there. So it's kind of like, here's your here's your green light, here's the starting gun. Grab some of that cash out there that's for the festivals and start planning, and we'll see you in 2025. Shane, you
Thanks,
want me to
Bill.
take this one, or
Shane?
you got this?
No, that's okay, Bill. I can jump in here. Hi again, everybody. In addition to the upcoming events that'll be coordinated through the Bicentennial Commission that was mentioned earlier, we at the Power Authority and Canal Corporation are advancing numerous other programs throughout the bicentennial period here. One of those specifically is our On the Canals Excursions program. We have been building this program over the last 4 years. We're now in our 5th season. More than 30,000 participants over those 5 years. And with each season, we are increasing the accessibility of this program. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, the Power Authority and Canal Corporation launched our On the Canals Accessibility Education Program with a goal in partnership with the Rochester Accessible Adventures to bring more accessible adventures to all of our On the Canals providers across the state. So really ensuring that if one wanted to participate in one of these excursions, they were willing to do so with or without disabilities. That program, our On the Canals programming, will continue to expand and feature bicentennial related themes, for 2025. In addition, and speaking of accessibility, we just hosted in April, 3 or 4 months ago, our first of the series, our SUNY Erie Canal Bicentennial Forums. We did this back in 2017, 2018, when we kind of started the bicentennial era. We've now brought them back as we look towards next year in 2025. This past April, we hosted our first meeting that was focused on accessibility along the Canalway, both the waterway and the trailway. That was in April at Monroe Community College in Rochester, and we are working on building this program. There will be another forum series in October this fall, so in a few short months from now. More details on that topic and that location and the planning to come. And then we'll also be looking to host additional meetings in 2025, throughout that year. Another very cool program that is new to us at NYPA and Canals is our Artist in Residence program. So for the past 2 seasons, or past 2 years really, in a collaboration with the Erie Canal Museum, we have hosted our Artist in Residence. We had a gentleman, Matthew Lopez Jensen, with us last year during 2023. This year we have 3 artists in residence who are collaborating and doing unique photography across the canal system. And there will be programming with them coming up throughout the rest of this year. And then we just announced and opened up our an RFP, request for proposals from artists for 2025. So a program that is continuing to build and certainly tying into the bicentennial as well. And another tie-in. The first one certainly a favorite of our Director Brian Stratton, who always loves his ice cream along the canal. But we will be working with a local vendor here in the Capital Region to produce a unique ice cream flavor or ice cream branded flavor for the Erie Canal Bicentennial. And Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're also talking to some local breweries about crafting a specialty brewed theme or specialty beer, themed for the Bicentennial as well. So more to come on that. Again, a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Some things we just can't say out loud just yet, but we're working on it and it's getting there. And some of these items, like a special ice cream flavor or a unique craft beer, et cetera, will all be announced very, very soon.
So lots of fun stuff happening, and there's even more to come. You can see on screen here, we're going to have a special 200-miler option for the Canalway Challenge. So for those of you who don't know what the Canalway Challenge is, it's our program that encourages people to get out and cycle, paddle, walk, run on the Canalway Trail. And people are awarded sticker and a magnet at the completion of their challenge. So next year, in addition to the 15, 90, 180, and 360 mileage options that we offer, we're going to have a 200 miler option. So you can see what that looks like. It's only going to be available in 2025. So we're really excited about this special addition to the Canalway Challenge. We're also going to be hosting a Erie Canal 200 paddling event through our New York State Canalway Water Trail programming. This is going to be a half-day paddle somewhere on the Erie Canal, so we'll be announcing details about that soon, but that's also in the early planning phases. And then something that's been very highly requested over the past couple of years that we're excited to launch just in time for the bicentennial is a Junior Ranger activity booklet. So that's going to be launched in partnership with the New York State Canal Corporation through the Erie Canal Learning Hub. And that will be available to download on the Learning Hub website, but it's also going to be available in a printed version through some of our partner sites, heritage sites. So a full list of where that will be available is going to be made public as well. So there's lots of fun things to look forward to all throughout the season next year for families, for members of the public to participate in, and for everybody to kind of get behind, promote, to have fun, and get out on the trail.
All right, Gene, I think this is back to me and the Canal Corp side. So in addition to the commission and the other programming like on the canals and our artists in residence program that we've now launched, a big part of our future here at Canals is ensuring that the canal system remains safe and operable, with through navigation across the 524 navigable miles of the state's inland connected waterways here. So that is very much the focus of our future here is in making the investments in the infrastructure so that it is here for the next generation. I know my kids who are 10 and 8 know all of my canal talking points and are often in the backseat of the car on a canal adventure. And I certainly want to make sure that as they grow and get into their adulthood, that this canal is still here and accessible and operational for all that it means to all of us across upstate New York. We often quote here at Canals that there are more than 200 canal side communities throughout the corridor, and that 85% of upstate New York's population lives within about 20 to 25 miles of the canal. So we know this historic, still active, still vital waterway is in a lot of people's backyards. And I do know from all of us at the Power Authority and Canal Corporation that we are committed to ensuring this canal remains open, safe, operable, and here for that next generation of New Yorkers. So very much our focus is on the future. It's making strategic investments in the infrastructure. Most know, or everyone should know at this point, certainly, canal stakeholders, that we are managing the third generation of the Erie Canal and what I'll call the state's canal system. All of our infrastructure built during the barge canal era, and it is thankfully our skilled craftspeople, both men and women, who work very hard every day at our locks, at our lift bridges, at our maintenance shops, and also in the main offices, engineering, design, field offices, construction, etc., who show up every day to make sure that we are putting our best foot forward and making sure that this canal does remain safe and that all of the working components are there and functioning. Every once in a while, there's a little hiccup. There's a small breakdown. There's something that we've got to take care of. But it's only some of those incidents have only lasted, thankfully, a couple of days, and we're able to get that part repaired or back online very quickly. And a lot of that has to do with our skilled craftsmen. I often say during our winter maintenance pump out tours, when we're out there in the valve tunnels and walking the belly of the locks, while they're pumped out during winter, that we can't go to the neighborhood hardware store to buy a part. Our crews, our employees, our colleagues here machine and manufacture many of the working components in our maintenance shops in Waterford, Lysander, Lockport, etc. So it's a lot of TLC, and there's a lot of pride that goes into all of that. So The Power Authority invests about $140 million a year into the capital improvement, maintenance, operations, and the infrastructure here across the canal system. Just this past year, I should say this current year, through an initiative from Governor Hochul and with support of the state legislature in both houses, the Canal Corporation received an additional $50 million in capital funding that is being put forward towards water impounding and legacy infrastructure. So work on our earthen embankments, work on some of our waste weirs, some of our guard gates, and then some of our legacy reservoirs, like the Madison Reservoir down in Hamilton, Madison County, will be receiving a major rehab over the next couple of years, in part, thankfully, to that extra $50 million that we're getting this year. In addition, and talking about the future, our partners at the Canal Recreation Way Commission are very focused on the next 25 years. So as we approach the bicentennial next year, what do the next 25 look like? What is our comprehensive plan for these next couple of decades here? Many remember when the Canal Corporation was created back in 1992 through state legislation. The Canal Recreation Way Commission was created at that time as an advisory council to the Canal Corporation. They launched the 1995 plan, which was really the first time that anyone started to look at this industrial waterway as a recreational asset and a potential recreational destination, which it has obviously grown into beautifully today that we all enjoy. And as we still have commercial cargo on the waterway, in that photo, you see the pieces of the Ralph Wilson Park Bridge navigating through Spencerport, westbound for Buffalo just a month ago. Although we still support and have significant shipments like the Ralph Wilson Bridge and other products on the canal, we all know and recognize that it is predominantly now a recreational waterway. And that is really the draw to all of these canal side communities throughout the corridor. So the Canal Recreation Way Commission, again, focused on the next 25 years. We are developing that update to the 1995 plan, calling it the 2050 plan. We've hired a consultant who is working with us at Canals on all of this with the commission. And we've been doing community focus groups. We've been doing public workshops. There is a virtual session that'll be forthcoming very, very soon here, where folks can log on just like this and share feedback and share their comments. If anyone had missed one of our public workshops over the last couple of weeks, or would want to join again and just share some additional thoughts, we'll be posting that opportunity here online very, very soon with all the registration and the links. And then again, that third bullet there, the infrastructure legacy projects, that's really been our focus is, what strategic investments are needed out there to keep this canal system functioning, to keep it safe, to keep this waterway going across all of the 524 miles. So more announcements to come on some of that. I know not to tease it. I can't see everybody on the screen. I don't know if our friends in Brockport are here, but we will be in Brockport tomorrow for a steel signing ceremony to mark the construction milestone of the new Brockport pedestrian bridge that is rising over the Erie Canal. So that project was announced a couple of years ago. Between design and now initial construction, we are well underway out there. So not to steal our thunder from tomorrow, but Director Stratton, Mayor Blackman, SUNY Brockport President Heidi McPherson, and others will gather tomorrow afternoon in Brockport to put their John Hancocks on a piece of steel. That'll be part of the bridge as it's being built out there, and then we'll have a ceremonial ribbon cutting and opening for that structure. Come next May. So yes, there is a significant focus on the current infrastructure and making the investments there, but there is also a focus on making strategic investments in both infrastructure and in canal side communities where there is a great benefit for all. So programming, again, iconic lighting, illuminating of those canal points of infrastructure across the state, the On the Canals program, the Brockport pedestrian bridge, and then also updating and repairing things like a waste weir out in Western New York that is very vital to our operations and water management. that may have not been rehabbed or updated in the last 5 or 6 decades. So that's been really our focus, and I think you'll be seeing a lot more of those types of infrastructure investment announcements throughout the rest of this year, next year, and beyond.
Thanks, Shane. That's great. That's great to hear. Yeah, I want to emphasize too, this sort of like the 200-year anniversary is such a great opportunity for all of us, right? To look back, but to really look forward. And so as the Canal Corporation is thinking about what do we need to make the next 25 years great, the next 100 years great, your organization has the same opportunity to look ahead during the bicentennial and to kind of leverage the attention that we're going to get during the bicentennial to, invite people to support you, to fund your projects. So take advantage of those things. It is a very good time to plan and to look forward as much as it is to look back. I want to close out with talking a little bit about the marketing toolkit and then share our new video with you. But most of you have already signed up for the Bicentennial Marketing Toolkit, and I encourage you to incorporate the graphics package into the things that you do. We had more than 100 sites order banners, free banners in the last month. So those are on the way, or maybe some of you already have them. I've seen some already put up. And we'll do another order in the fall, although we have very, very limited money left in our budget for free banners, but you can order one for yourself and pay for it at cost. We also have a 1-minute promotional video, which I'm going to show you. We'll be rolling out additional content, social media content, stickers, and background information in the toolkit over the next year, really, so that you have fresh things that you can take advantage of and share throughout all of 2025. And I will, as a follow-up to this meeting, I'm going to share the link to the toolkit directly with all of you again, so that you make sure you have it, as well as posting from today in case you want to share the presentation with others in your organization. Okay, so I'm hoping that the sound and everything else works perfectly this time. And just to tee up our video, this is really a preview of the first time that we're sharing this video with the public. And I want to say thank you to those of you who participated in being in this video. And many of you are on the call and will see yourselves in a moment. So here we go.
Jean, you're muted. Can you unmute yourself?
I want to share contact information for Bill, and I will take the lead within our organization, so you can feel free to be in touch with us as you have ideas or you have feedback for us. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and invite questions that you may have had during the presentation. Ashley will read things that you put in the chat, and if you haven't put something in, but you do have a burning question, please do that now. And that's kind of how we'll wrap things up. So again, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to your questions. What do we got, Ashley?
So far we had one question that related to the amount of money for the grants program. For everyone who's curious about the grant limits or finding more details about the grants program, I put a link to the grants and funding page of our website that gives all the details on for all of the details, including the amounts. We had somebody who was asking a question about a virtual meeting to collect feedback. Maybe Jean and Shane, you can talk about that a little bit. And will there be a virtual meeting, or are there potential meetings to collect feedback in the future?
Is this actually specific to the 2050 plan, I assume? Is that, I guess, okay. So
I think so.
It could be as early as next Wednesday, the 21st. There's a lot of moving parts in logistics within Canals and with our consultant right now. We're trying to finalize those details, but it could be as early as next Wednesday. And if it is, we will certainly post, on our social media accounts, and my colleagues in Canals public engagement will be sharing the link and letting everyone know as soon as possible. We were just waiting to confirm a few more details before we could actually lock it in. But the 21st was floated as the potential earliest date that it would be held. But certainly trying to make sure that we engage and schedule this over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned, and we'll get the date out there as soon as it is confirmed.
Great. I'm going to share a note from Scott Croft at Boat US. And he's put this in the chat, but the 24/7 on the water assistant company for recreational boaters is interested in collaborations for the 200th. They have towing response vessels that are stationed on Oneida Lake and Rochester. And if you may have need for a boat or towing services, please, you can contact Scott Croft at Boat US. So thanks for that, Scott.
Yeah. Thanks, Jean. Just remember, there may not be mules towing boats, but there's boats towing boats still today. So more than interested to speak.
We're thrilled that you want to be involved. That's great.
Any brainstorming, let me know. Thank you.
Scott, I think you should paint a mule on the side of one of those towboats. I think that would be a great that would be a great branding opportunity right there, my friend.
Yes, sir. The tail would get tangled with the tow line. That's the problem we have.
That's a good point. Good point.
Thank you.
Can I jump in quick? I was just going to say, one of my notes that I took when I thinking about this meeting yesterday was, to connect with your communities and rally your communities. But Scott, and Boat US, saying, hey, we're here, we'd like to partner. Partner is another word we should use, rally, reach out, partner, participate. It's kind of all on us, not really the four folks who've talked today, but it's on everybody. And, sure, there's more to come. And of course, we're investing in our infrastructure, and we're going to do everything, we're always doing every year, keeping the thing open. But reach out. My information is on the screen there. I'm going to probably put you in touch with your local tourism partner. I see there are a few tourism partners on the call. The New York State Tourism Industry Association annual meeting is in Saratoga, right in my backyard, in early September. We're going to be talking about what we've talked about here and rallying that community to be reaching out to you. But just in general, connect with your community. If you don't know what to do, then find that person in your community or find that organization that does these type of things, whether it's an event or Boat US or an organization, the municipality, whoever it is, and just participate and get involved. And we will meet in the beginning or meet in the end in the beginning of 2025.
Sounds good. I'm going to follow that up, Bill, with a question that came in from Kelly. I'm glad you're on the call, Kelly. And your question about how can various people help or volunteer is such a critical question. And I've heard from a lot of canal organizations that they need volunteers. And so I would say if there's a canal related organization in your community, reach out and ask them, do you need help? And then, it could be that they need help planning an event, being an event, working at a table, mowing the lawn, planting a garden. It could be any number of things. And you may only have 3 hours to lend, or you may have 3 hours a week to lend. And most canal organizations are very eager to bring in new people. So I would encourage you to be in touch. If you're not sure who to contact or who might need anything, or you contact someone and you don't get a response, please reach out to me or to Bill, and we'll try to hook you up with some folks in your area who do need help. There's also going to be the regular canal clean sweep and I Love My Park Day and those kind of opportunities. But I could imagine, canal related organizations saying, we're going to have a big day of, work day or, part celebration, part let's get involved kind of thing for tomorrow or for the bicentennial. And so there may be really good opportunities to build new volunteers as more people come out to sites and are interested in learning more for the bicentennial.
I just want to add on to that, Jean, and say that, through our grants program, there's a lot of communities that host events. So I anticipate that there will be, bicentennial related events happening in 2025, as we've talked about a lot on today's call. And the hosts of those events are always looking for volunteers too. A lot of those events are thrown primarily by volunteers and people who are just, in the community. So, as we announce the awardees of our grants program, take a look at that list, see which events are happening near you, and reach out to the organizations that are hosting those events and see if they need volunteers to help. But also, one really simple way that you can help is to just show enthusiasm for the bicentennial and for the canal system in 2025. The easiest thing you can do is share content on social media. So make sure that you're following Erie Canalway and New York State Canal Corporation on social, as Shane had mentioned before. Share bicentennial related content. Follow your local community organizations whenever they post about the bicentennial, share that content. And there'll be plenty in the bicentennial marketing toolkit. That's not just available for municipalities, it's available for anybody who wants to share fun information, happenings that are going on around the canal. So big and small, there's plenty of ways to be involved. Yes, and Captain Tammy, she posted hashtag Erie Canal 200. Make sure you use the hashtag. That way we can follow along with everybody who's posting about the bicentennial, and we can make sure to share your posts too. Andy has a question. He says, I have a business in Little Falls and have a highly visible spot for a banner to display a banner. Is it okay to hang it now? And if it gets beat up over the winter, will there be more available next year?
So I'll take that, Andy. You can certainly hang your banner now, and I've seen a couple that are already up. One in Montezuma that looks great. So yes, they're pretty high quality. So hopefully it's not going to get beat up, but you may want to take it down over the winter and then put it back up in the spring, or when the canals open again, just to be safe. If you don't want to order one, there won't be free banners available next year unless we get some kind of sponsorship funding and someone wants to pay for additional banners. Otherwise, you'll be able to order them and pay for one yourself.
Perfect. And we also have another comment from Kelly. She says if there are opportunities to help out in Central New York, Syracuse, Weedsport, and Port Byron, please let her know. She'd love to be involved. So that's great. Thank you, Kelly. And Kelly, I know you've participated in the Canalway Challenge, so I expect to see you as a 200 miler next year too. We have a comment from Bobby. As a trail town, the Rome Waterways and Trails Advocacy Group is very excited for all the upcoming events. We would love to hear from people in our area who are interested in joining us. You can follow along on Facebook at Rome Waterways and Trails. So if you're in the Rome area and want to be involved, definitely reach out to Bobby. Frank wants to know, will there be bumper stickers and the like with the Erie Canal 200 years logo?
Bob or Frank, I was not planning to do bumper stickers, but we will do like smaller giveaway stickers for community events and for kids and water bottles and that kind of stuff. But I'm going to make a note about the interest in maybe doing bumper stickers. There is a new Canals 200 license plate, and you can go a step up from a bumper sticker if you want to really have a long-term support and show that, and you can get that through DMV.
That's Gene, thanks for that. That's a good little tease there. As part of our, Bicentennial Commission meeting, later this week, we will be challenging our other sister state agencies to see what they can do here as part of this bicentennial celebration across the state. So, Gene, as you just mentioned, yes, DMV is already out there. There is a special commemorative bicentennial license plate available on the DMV website. I know Director Stratton has already had his plate installed on his personal vehicle, and I know a few other colleagues at Canals have them as well. So they are out there. They are available. Best to go right on the DMV website to register and request one. And I suspect, based on some of the conversations I'm hearing amongst colleagues, that other state agencies will have announcements, forthcoming here. So I know we keep teasing a lot. There's a lot to come. There's a lot to come. Remember, we're state government. Things take a little bit of time sometimes. There's a lot of bureaucracy to work through, but we are getting there. There's a really great buzz. There's a really great amount of energy amongst the state about the bicentennial, from the governor right on down. The governor is a canaler. She has traversed the Erie Canal just recently. She just went up the Champlain Canal. Her and First Gentleman Bill Hochul. So we know that she is out there. We know that she's on the waterway. We know she locks through from time to time, and just did so over the last couple of weeks here this navigation season. So we've got great support within her. We know we've got great support within the state legislature and all of our agencies. And to his credit, Director Stratton has been our biggest cheerleader. He has really been out there challenging, his fellow commissioners here to get out there and do something positive and proactive for the bicentennial here. And again, more to come after Friday's meeting. And we really do look forward to, future announcements here on behalf of NYPA Canals and really the whole state and all of us.
Great. I see Michelle from Visit Buffalo Niagara asked a question about a travel writer and where our events posted. The current event, we have some current events that are on our eriecanalway.org website. There's currently a calendar of events for upcoming things for this season, and we'll continue that next year. But if you have a travel writer or you know of somebody who might do a story, you could definitely have them reach out to Shane or Bill or myself, and we can connect you, because we often do know what's going on behind the scenes, what might be coming up that hasn't quite been posted yet. And we also have resources like images that someone may need to do a travel story. So for sure, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll provide, we'll contact a writer and work with things. And there have been some of that happening already. So we're hoping that there'll be some good media stories, because there's already stuff in the works. And yes, I'll share the link. I will send you an email directly to everybody who came to this call when the link is posted tomorrow, but it'll be at eriecanalway.org, and I think it's /learn and then bicentennial. Ashley just posted that in the chat. Is there if there's a final question, or we can kind of close with any additional takeaways, Bill or Ashley or Shane, if there's anything you feel like you didn't get a chance to say?
No, thanks, Gene. Honestly, it's just, thanking everyone for joining today and for the excitement and the enthusiasm and the collaboration. The old phrase, it takes a village. This is our canal village. There is a lot going on. We're all in this together. We're all connected. Again, from the state government perspective, be patient. We're here. We're working on it. There's going to be some good stuff coming up in the very near future. Nancy Regas, I'm seeing your email or your chat pop in here. I think you should be the first in Fairport to have one of those Erie Canal Bicentennial license plate, and maybe it's Fairport 1 or Lift Bridge 1, something like that, on your vehicle as you're traversing the streets in Fairport. And I would challenge that to others. Kate Morris, I see you here. You should be representing Schuylerville with one of those plates. I know it's the Champlain Canal, but it's still the big bicentennial for the Erie. The Champlain had their 200 last year. Patrick Russell Walsh and others, go get your license plates today to really kick it off this year. So I guess, Gene, that's my challenge. Everybody should have an Erie Canal Bicentennial license plate within the next couple of weeks here.
All right, awesome. And I'll just close out by saying also thank you so much, and on behalf of Erie Canalway National Heritage Corridor, the Canal Corporation, we really look forward to more to come. And as we get closer, it might be helpful for us to do another meeting like this, maybe later in the fall or in January. So I know we'll continue to hear from you as we're out in the corridor or at different meetings, and as we have new things coming up. I think it could be helpful to just stay in touch. And there are some groups along the canal that are already coordinating with one another, which is fantastic. So we'll continue to coordinate with you. And so stay in touch as you get more information about the things that you're doing. Keep us in the know, and we'll try to do the same so that we really ensure that we have just a fantastic bicentennial year along the Erie Canal.
In just a few minutes.
All right, thank you so much, and we'll see you out on the canal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
All right, thanks.
Bye now.